welcome back to Alex's Custom Garage, built not bought. So I got the electric Mazir water pump installed on the Pro Street. I haven't got it wired yet, but now I'm going to redo some plumbing. So during this process, I've decided to relocate the radiator. Some of you may think that's a big job, but I'm going to walk you through the steps. It's actually pretty easy. So again, built not bought, everything is done in-house. So let's get to it. All right, so today I'm working on the Pro Street project a little bit. I need to relocate the radiator. So I need to put the radiator, set it back enough, but I need to set it forward enough to where when I shut the hood, and see there, it's gonna miss the radiator. I'd like to be able to put the radiator all the way back here, but I would never be able to shut the hood, or open the hood, I should say. So right now I'm just gonna zizz this piece of fiberglass off here, and then we'll start. All right, so I started this project a little bit ago, relocating the radiator on the Pro Street. I had some plumbing issues and it was just way too busy, and so I decided to go ahead and move the radiator forward as much as I can. I want to be able to have a functional hood, so I got to have it back enough where I can still shut the hood, but, you know, or forward enough where I can shut the hood and, you know, I'm going to cut this off, put a weld a 90 on it, or just come across here straight and put a 90 on it, but it's going to be an AN, a dash 20 AN, and then I'll come off with a 90, and then I'll be able to come across and go straight into the intake where the with the straight thermostat housing, and then that'll give me plenty of clearance, because with the Mazir electric water pump, it ought to be pretty badass. So right now I just got to figure out something on the bottom just to be able to hold it into place. Nothing real bulky, nothing really looks like Fido's ass, just some kind of a quick brace on the bottom, and then at the right angle, and then I'll figure out something to do on the top, just where I can hold it into place on the top, and without interfering with anything else. So it's a fun little project, so we're gonna get started. So the best thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and just capture on both sides. So I think it's about 3 inches, right? So I'm just going to build a cradle, 3 inches wide, just like 1 inch up on both sides, and then it'll set it in, and then I'm going to offset, then I'll put the bracket 3 inches down where it's going to come off of here, down 3 inches and be a cradle, and then I can just set it in place, put it at the angle I want, put the radiator in where I want, and then we'll weld it up, right? So that's easiest. So if you're wondering, what the hell is he talking about? Here, we'll just, we'll write it down. So I'm just going to build a cradle. It's going to come down like that, right? And it's just going to be like yonder, right? Pardon, and then the radiator is just going to fit right into here. And then I'll space this that way, 3 inches off of the side and 3 inches down, so it'll fully, then I'll be able to just set the radiator in, put whatever angle I want, and then just weld it in this into place. So it sounds like confusing, but we're going to do it step by step. So again, part of the thing too is just utilizing what material you have in-house, so you're not having to go buy a bunch of stuff. So I've got some 3/4 by 3/4. So I'm going to use that. So I'll just go ahead and cut all my pieces, get them laid out, tacked up, and then I'll weld it once it's done. All right, so this is what I'm going to end up doing on both sides, just as the mount, and then I'll mount this directly to the frame. So it's just going to cradle in like so, right? Nice and snug, and then I'll just cradle one on each side. And then I'll come up with a bracket from this directly to the frame at whatever angle, like so, whatever it is in the car, and then it'll just fit right in the cradle, good and tight. And then I'll weld everything up and blend it where you won't even see it. I'll probably go ahead and cap the bottoms and the top just so it looks good. But that's what's going to end up being. Built not bought. I know it kind of looks like Fido's ass right now. I just roughed it in. Just wait till it's done. So I'm going to show you how to blend the welds to make it look really good, right? So when I'm blending, just because I like it to be seamless and etc., I'll use a floppy disc. Sometimes I'll grind and I'll use like the roll-lock disc, like a sanding disc, and then I'll finish it and I'll buff it or polish it with Scotch-Brite, different colors for different courses. But for this, I'm just going to use a flappy wheel. You can see how it blends in. Now you can see how it blends in. So if I look at it from the side, you don't see any facets. So a facet is like when you're using a hard disc, you'll get them wavies. That's a facet. So this way, when it's all done, it's blended and it'll look really good. I'm going to do that to all the weld joints. I just like to do that because it looks really clean. Regardless, nobody's going to see it because it's up underneath the radiator. However, my car and my project, I'm going to do it my way, and I just want to take my time, and I enjoy doing stuff like this and then teaching people as well. So anyway, that's how you blend, and you make it where it's you know, again, it looks really good. And when you look at some of my other videos, Alex's Custom Garage, Built Not Bought, I mean, like I'd replace the frame horns on this. You can't see where I replaced the frame horns. I blended it where it looks really good. Done a lot of modifications on my Pro Street. So anyway, that's how you do it. Any questions, hit me up. All right, so I got it blended. I got a couple little touch-ups to do. But in the gist, that's what it's going to look like. I don't know for sure if I'm going to cap it off. I probably won't, because it's never going to see the rain, so I don't have to worry about water getting in there. The only water it's ever going to get is a bath, and if I prime it really good and paint it, I don't have to worry about it rusting. And I'm not really sure I want to go to if I really want to cap it off or not. So ultimately, it's going to end up going down here about like this. It's going to be the same angle. So it'll be about like 3 inches down. It'll be about somewhere like there. I'll come off with a brace by my finger up and down both sides, so it'll just set in the cradle just like that. And then once I got it the bottom done, and then I'll figure out what to do on the top. I'm probably on the top, I may just come off of the top frame and bend a hoop and put like a piece of 1x1 plate on it and bolt it. So if anything ever has, you know, when I need to, if I got to take the radiator out, I just unbolt it, and then if it's welded, it's a big pain in the ass. I'll probably just build me a bar that goes across, and get the, and then just go from the bar, and then just build me the same kind of thing onto the front, except definitely because it's on top, it'll all be covered and blended and painted or powder coated, one of the two. So I'm going to put the radiator 3 inches below the front frame horn. So I want to make it at the same angle that the hood is going to be at, so you can see where the hood's got to follow, right? So I have to be behind the hood. So the best way to do that, I'm just going to take me a piece of tape. I'm going to put me a string right there. I use Gorilla Tape because this stuff is badass strong. And then I'm going to put it down like that. And then I'm going to go down on the bottom. And I'm just going to follow that line, and I'm going to mark it on the floor. You see right up there, I'll point to it, right there is my line. So you don't want to go way in, so the best way to do it is just take it, and right where it touches, that's where it's going to be. Right. So I probably need to hit that a few times. Right. So I just want to be as accurate as I can. Right there we go, Houston. Okay. And that is going to be the angle of the radiator. So now I know I need to come down here 3 inches at this angle. So I'm going to come off of here with the bar, and I'll show you that in a minute. But that is how I'm going to get the right angle. So now, so we can figure out, because there's going to be a difference in the angle for the cut. So now we need to figure out exactly what angle this is coming off the frame rail, so we can decide what the back brace length is going to be. So we're just going to find the angle, and about like right there, right? So I want the cradle to set in about 5.5 inches, right? So we're going to hit it right in that, right there. So that means the inside of the frame is 33, that's 32, so I got to make up an inch, so a ½ inch on each side. So if I want to go 5.5, we'll just add an inch, and then that should put me right about 1 inch under the frame, which would be a good area to weld on. So I'm just going to make me some brackets to go on to my mounts at 6.5 inches long on both sides, and then we'll figure out what angle I need to cut them up on top. So the best way to do is just to draw it out, right? We're gonna draw it out. Two pieces at 6.5. I'm gonna go ahead and get them cut. Exactly why I don't throw all my scrap away. This is in the scrap bin, and this will be perfect for what I need.